Influence and persuasion at the highest levels. Now, something that a lot of people don't talk about that absolutely must be present if you are in sales or influence at any level has to be congruency. And this is what I mean by congruency. If I expect to influence and persuade other people at the highest levels, I'm talking top 5%, top 1%, you first have to be able to do that with yourself. If you were unable to get up on time, if you're unable to honor your word, if you're unable to sell yourself on doing certain things, and at the very minimum, displaying the behaviors and expectations that you have of your customer, whatever you expect or would like or desire for them to do, if you yourself do not do them, you will always limit yourself in sales and you will never be able to function at the highest levels. Why? You're expecting a level of behavior and a standard from other people that you're unwilling to abide to by yourself. And what's going to happen? You're going to self-sabotage. You're going to have that crack in your voice. There's going to be a hesitation. You're not going to be able to pull through. And that happens because deep down inside, subconsciously, you know you're asking something of someone else that you yourself will not give or demonstrate. And that's a problem. I know people who want to work for a company or sell a product or service that's expensive, yet they're the biggest cheapskates. They'll park a mile away to save $2 instead of doing valet. And they'll brag about it. And they'll call you a fool for paying for it. Yet they'll turn around and want, to charge their customer 10% commission for whatever it is that they do. And it's like, come on, man. That's totally backwards. Now, a lot of people don't think about that, or they think it doesn't matter. Absolutely, it matters. It's no different than if you have a relationship with somebody. You can't have ridiculously high standards for someone else and then you yourself are down in the dumps, or you have no level of standard for yourself. That's incongruent and people aren't going to respect it. They're going to be able to see it, and it's not going to work. And nobody talks about this in sales. But this is why when I teach people, I focus so much first on the individual. And what I loved about learning and studying and getting certified in like hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming and all that stuff is when you really break it down and you take a step back, you realize that this is first about self-mastery over anything outward. Because when people think persuasion, influence, communication, they always think it's me talking with the world or with somebody else. And yes, that is a part of it. However, it's first about understanding the mind, communication, and oneself, and mastering oneself. I can influence and persuade myself at the highest levels, which is why I can do that with other people. I can communicate clearly and concisely with myself, first and foremost. Therefore, with other people, it becomes an extension of that and easy. I can teach myself easily. I can hold myself to a higher standard. Therefore, I can hold other people up to a higher standard easily and teach them easily as well. Understand this, and your ability to sell, persuade, and influence will skyrocket, because on top of the techniques, you're now going to have an aura and certainty to you that is irreplaceable, and people will feel it. When you have uncertainty, incongruency, and some of these things that we're discussing here, people can feel it and pick up on it. They'll say, there's just something off, or he's saying the right things, but I'm just not feeling it. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about here. And this is so missed, because everybody right now, especially in our culture, is looking to cut corners and automate everything and this and that. And I don't want to learn. And can you do it for me? I have people coming to me wanting to learn sales or join my coaching program that, is there like a, kind of like a set it and forget it type of setting? It's like, dude, when it comes to sales, there's going to be certain parts absolutely that we automate. However, the vast majority of it got to work, man. How can you be that lazy and entitled that you think it's going to be? So again, if somebody has that mentality, how are they going to sell and persuade? Again, at the highest levels, which is what I'm talking about here. Not above average or average, top of the top percentile, top paid, highest earning individuals. That's a big piece when it comes to persuasion and influence, and you have to master that, okay? Number 2 is understanding perception. People have to identify you on a subconscious level, not a conscious level, on a subconscious level that you're a winner. So we have to start looking at what are these indicators that we can give off to people. I'll name a few. Consistency on social media, right? Because people are going to follow you now on social media. They're going to Google you. They're going to look you up, right? You need consistency on that, and people need to be able to see. Therefore, if they go on your Instagram, your Facebook, or your website, it's active, it's up to date, and you're communicating and posting regularly. It doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't have to be 3 times a day, but people see like, okay, this person is moving and grooving and they're shaking. That's perception. How do we know this to be true? Well, for those of you who follow me, if I suddenly went radio silent, what's the immediate thought and perception? Positive or negative? It's negative. Something happened. Is he okay? Is he out of business? Right? It's automatically negative. That's a big one. Number 2 is visually. Visually. This is why I always tell people, when you conduct your business and you do your business activities, wear a suit, look good, dress the part. Look at my car in these videos. My car is clean, outside and inside, basically spotless. I have my backpack and my boxing gloves here because I'm on my way to the boxing gym right now to get a workout in. My car is clean. My image is clean. Sure, you can nitpick, oh, tattoos, this and that, but when I conduct business activities and I'm on that grind, I am dressed to impress. I smell good. I look good. I walk good. My eye contact is good. My body language is good. Perception is everything. So think about the quality of your voice if you're cold calling, the quality of the email that you're sending, and making sure that you have a good subject line that grabs attention, that the meat and bones of it isn't just some AI slop. It's carefully crafted. That way, when people read every sentence and every paragraph, it creates the effect that you want it to create. I want everything from a perception standpoint to equal what I want to communicate. Prestige, power, excellence, right? Cream of the crop, number 1, luxury. Those are some of the things that I want to communicate with everything that I'm doing, from videos to website to my presentation to all that stuff. That has to be in your mind, and that has to be a subject of importance, which is why a lot of people will hire PR people, marketing firms to help them so they can just automate that. And that firm will say, hey, we want to communicate ABC, XYZ. This is what we need from you. This is what you need to post. Send us this type of stuff and we'll post it. We'll edit it, right? But again, that has to be curated and it has to be specific. Long term for your brand, your image, and everything that you're doing, so important. Then selling from that standpoint becomes easier. If somebody already views you as an expert, top-notch, an authority, selling to them becomes easy. Another piece that we can add to this that I think is important is building strong top-of-mind awareness with people and professional relationships. When you build a professional relationship on top of these things that we've discussed earlier in this video, what you'll notice is when you sell, we were talking about this last night on my lecture with my students. Even if you get an objection, it'll be like a permission-based objection. Meaning, and you can comment below if you've experienced this, somebody already knows you, likes you, and trusts you so much, they're going to work with you. So now even if they object to something, your commission or whatever it is, it's almost like they're asking permission to give you the objection versus like a random cold prospect that you meet that might hammer you and say, oh, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. There's a clear difference there when these things were uploaded, what we talked about earlier in the video. And then you have that professional relationship that you build with them over time. Because we were talking about that yesterday, and there's a difference. And Teresa, shout out to her, right? She brought it up that she met with somebody recently who had already had that authority figure expertise uploaded in that status, right? Whatever we want to call it, in their mind. And they said, or she said, that their behavior was completely different than she's used to when she deals with colder type of prospects. That's what I'm talking about here. You want to sell at the highest levels, you build this huge database or sphere of influence of a lot of people, and you build and create that professional relationship with them. And that's what allows you to sell at that level. Now you don't have to fight and claw tooth and nail to get your full commission or whatever it is. People will willingly pay it. And even if they do object, it's like a soft objection. It's not really an objection. You can kind of smile and laugh it off and you're good to go. You're not sweating, busting out your sword and your shield to fight, and you leave bloody and beat up because you got 100 objections and it took you 45 minutes to handle them, right? We've all been there. And those, again, are a necessary part of the process. However, you don't want to live the entirety of your sales career having to sell like that. And if you're doing things correctly and building yourself up and setting yourself up for the future, you shouldn't be doing that. That should be a phase that you eventually get out of. So these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to like higher level sales and influence and persuasion, because ultimately You don't want to be in the rat race forever. And that's something that I'm really happy that I'm seeing with a lot of my more longer time students now, is they're not on the hamster wheel anymore. They're building brand awareness. They've built up a solid foundation. Now it's almost as if they've automated, in a way, their ability to scale and make income. And now they don't have to hustle bustle anymore. They do it by choice. And long term, the payoff is huge because they built up a big business. They're not so hands-on. They don't have to work 10, 12, 14 hours a day, and they have success. And most importantly, the respect and admiration of their clients, where now they're coming to them versus them having to chase. And that's ultimately the shift that you want to make in your business. All right. Check out the free resources I have in the description for you. Grab that sales quiz. It'll automatically put you on my email list. If you want additional resources, courses, coaching, training, all that's on my website. Happy to help anybody in the sales and or real estate game. I have tons of students. I've churned out thousands over the years at this point. I've sold tens of thousands of courses. So, my stuff is legit. I've been in the game for 13 years now. So I think that speaks for itself. All right. Anything else I can do for you, let me know. Drop a comment for the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next video. All right. Peace.